Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Hairy Masters, as we're calling them. And yes, I was going to wait a little bit longer because this is a long game, but we're seeing some crazy stuff happen already, so we got to start casting it. Up the top right side of the map, and in the middle of the map is Mr. Shofu, otherwise known as Windy, otherwise known as Major. And Major is on his Liquipedia article, so I may just be using that, but he is the Terran dude, 22 years of age from Mexico, and not currently part of a team, but was part of Root Gaming up to the start of this year. And his opponent up the top left side of the map, currently getting annoyed by the SCV, is Mr. viOLet, who we've definitely cast a ton of games off him. He is 24 years of age from South Korea, plays for the team Envious. Which is a pretty cool name for a team, I gotta say. It's a ENVYUS, and every second letter is like capitalized and stuff, so that's pretty awesome. Look at the workers running into a bit of an ambush here. The workers are gonna have to run off, and unfortunately, they did spend most of the time chasing those Marines instead of actually killing this bunker, and now they see the Marines coming across, and there's two workers there, and the workers just have to finish up the bunker, and then the Marines can jump into it. Is it going to happen? The workers are really going nuts, but they are starting to take some serious hits, just buying time, I think, for the Lings. And now we have a total of 7, 8 Lings, something like that, and I don't think it's going to happen. A worker did manage to get in there and finish the bunker, but it may be a moot point at this point because the Lings are out, and I don't think the Marines are going to survive this, especially with the workers in there. So the SCVs are all down, there are still some Lings up, and the Marines are running for it. But, I mean, Major may have made his point in this battle anyway, because how many workers did die? The bunker getting salvaged just manages to get salvaged, so only 25 what? Minerals going down in that engagement, which is pretty awesome. So let's have a look at the units lost. 4 workers and 3 SCVs, so not actually all that many workers going down. viOLet sending them off in a big enough pack so that the Marines couldn't just pick them apart one by one. And yeah, Shofu Major losing 3 of the workers in there trying to get that bunker built, so that did not work out at all for him. Now a bunch of Lings going out, taking out another worker, taking out a bunch of Marines, but they don't have quite enough to take all these guys out. Ling speed would help that quite a lot, but it looks like he's just going for safe approach here, getting the spine crawler, getting the queens out, building up some more workers. He's very, very worried about Shofu coming back in. I'm just going to call him Shofu now because his name is right on the screen. Very worried about Shofu coming in and doing exactly what he's doing right now, which is coming in with a bunch of Marines trying to mess some shit up. So he's got the spine crawler, he's got a bunch of Lings around there, hasn't even got gas yet. He's just that worried about the Marines. He's going for stuff, trying to get some Lings around the Marines, and they're a little bit faster than the Marines, so they are going to manage it. The Marines are going to try and head them off. Are they going to be able to do it? Does it look like it's going to be down to some reinforcing Marines, which is not going to be a lot of because the barracks are up in the air at the moment. I don't know what I've been playing. I think you know what, I've been playing Clash of Clans. I've been playing Clash of Clans for way too long. It's starting to mess with all my Starcraft technology. So I'm like, barracks, wait, isn't that a Clash of Clans thing? No, it is still a Starcraft 2 thing. So if I manage to completely screw some things over and call some things Clash of Clans name, then you know that I've just been playing that game way too much. Here we go, the Lings managing. Oh, they zigged when they should have zagged. They thought they might have been getting up there, but it was actually blocked anyway. So I guess he moved up here and he ended up over there, and he's like, yeah, it's probably blocked. So those Lings are going to be getting killed, but look at this. They've led the Marines all the way to the furthest corner of the map, so no harassment is going to be happening on viOLet's base. So very, very nice move there. Did end up losing most of the Lings, but those Marines are not knocking on viOLet's front door. In fact, they've moved all the way to the opposite side of the map, so viOLet has a lot of breathing room at the moment. And what have we got going on here? Nice Overlord Scout. Going to be seeing the 3rd command center. Going to be seeing the factory. So knows that Shofu going for a bit more of an economic sort of playstyle this game, which I suppose is good for viOLet, because viOLet can bump up even more, get a bunch more economy on his side, can go for that nice fast 3rd base and know that he's not going to be facing a ton of opposition from Mr. Shofu. So fully expecting the 3rd base to be going down sometime soon. The other option is that he can go out for a lot of pressure and try and hit Shofu while he's going for that third base, but I don't think that's really the Zerg style versus the Terran. The Zerg style is mainly just to macro, 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 macro. It's the other races that tend to do that versus Zerg, which is to exploit heavy macro, but when the Terran is heavy macroing, the Zerg don't really do, you know, much about it. They just sort of macro up. Although, there we go. I was worried for a second, but there we go. There's the third base, and viOLet has chosen to go for the gold, which is really, really nice. As you said, he's got a bit of a window where he can say, all right, I've got some macro muscle I can sort of push around, because I know that Shofu is macro muscling, so I can do the same thing. And he's going to go for the gold, which is maybe a little bit higher than Shofu was aiming. I'm not sure if Shofu was planning to put that third base out over there, but he is definitely going to be in some problems if he tries to do that. viOLet is definitely going to try and knock that out. The question is, can Shofu do much about this gold base? We need to start seeing some drops from him on this base. I don't know if there's much else that he can really do. Maybe a hard push with Triple M down this thing and then up the ramp, but that's going to be very hard once the roaches come out, as they are coming out right now. So it's probably going to be drops that he's going to be looking to do. But we've got double factory and an armory and no starport on the way, so it doesn't look like drops are going to be happening anytime soon. Maybe after a little while, I'm not sure, but it looks like he is getting tanks, he's getting Hellions, he's getting Infernal Pre-Igniter, so we should be seeing some Hellbats as soon as that armory comes down, which is going to be interesting because Hellbats not too bad against roaches, not too bad. The tank is going to be a bit of a pain though. I don't know how many tanks he's building, but it looks like he's going to be continuously building them. There we go, we've got the Ling, was blocking it, the Marines do take it out, and viOLet knows that the third base is coming over because of course it's something which I think just all players just seem to fall in the habit of. They usually it's burrowed, which makes it a lot harder to do, but what I'm saying is they don't kill that blocking unit until they're ready to land, which gives the opponent great information because they know, all right, he killed my guy, he's about to land. I can go over, send a crap load of roaches over, and by the time they get there, there'll be a command center there. So it's always nice, whereas if the player actually went across and killed that guy like a minute before he was going to land, then it sort of muddles the timing a little bit. Very nice from viOLet. I suppose he could have actually kept going there. He was getting a little bit worried about the tank, so he decided to go for the base instead, taking out a lot of workers. This is an incredibly successful attack from viOLet, and it all came from that Ling being killed, and he's like, all right, the Ling got killed. Shofu's going to move out. He's going to take a base out there. And there we go. He went out, there was a base, and there was tons of workers, and the roaches just went and they just did an amazing amount of work. They killed an amazing amount of units. That's not going to tell us much, but units lost. Shofu definitely in the lead on the units lost. Income, he has suffered quite a lot. Workers lost 24 under 5. That is actually pretty incredible. He's lost 20 more workers, but he's only 10 behind. So Shofu was really turning into a macro god in this game, but he just got very, very decently slapped back there by viOLet. He's going to try and kill some stuff here. Didn't really work out too much. He got about 4 workers, but man, can you imagine 25 workers? He would have been up to like 70 workers at this point. I mean, he would have been at 70 workers when viOLet would have been at 60. And that might have been catastrophic if viOLet hadn't done something about it. But luckily, viOLet got in there, killed all of those workers, did a great job. Look at the roaches going in now, but the tanks are really, really taking them to pieces. Those tanks are absolutely nuts. Manages to get a snipe on a chamber, may be able to see this orbital command. The second tank has not landed yet. Does get a little bit of a look at it, and does take a little bit of damage, but then the tank gets in range. He's going to be backing off right around. I thought that was a dead end for a sec, but no, it is an avenue back there. So I imagine it's getting evened up a little bit. Shofu still lost more, but viOLet is starting to lose some roaches, and if he starts going in there and just sort of face planting his roaches into the tank army, then he's going to be in trouble. But no doubt, viOLet is going to be thinking of some way to get around the tanks, and I'm not sure what it's going to be. Vipers seem like a pretty good idea. He is getting the hive right now, which does indicate that he's probably going for Vipers, and that will be awesome. Just a massive roach army. Vipers yank the tanks in, the tanks get destroyed, and it's just beautiful. Also getting out some Hydras, which is really nice. What have we got for upgrades? We got 2-2 already for viOLet. Shofu, no infantry upgrades, does have level 1 weapons on his tanks, so perhaps thinking about a full-on mech army, which I believe is exactly what he's going for here. 4th command center. Please do not tell me he's actually going to be using this. Wow. Alright, this guy, he loves his macro. He really, really loves his macro. Yes, as I said, he's been slapped down a little bit, but he's already back up. Look at that, 71 under 71. This guy does not give up when it comes to macro. And yeah, he's not been able to take this base out there. I would have thought maybe some drops would have been a good idea. Oh, the roaches popping up, sniping a tank, but they took like 4 or 5 roach deaths just sniping that one tank. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely nuts. So we got level 2 weapons on the way. We got level 1 armor for the mech. viOLet going for 1-1. Sorry, going for 3-3. What am I talking about? And yeah, I think those guys are mainly just to make sure the army is still back there. They're just, but we've got 1 tank here, and we've got a nice little wall. Not sure if that's closed off. There may be a gap there, but pretty much closed off. Overlord moving down some creep over there. Very, very nice. And that's going to take a little while for the base to come back down. Should give viOLet enough room to go over there, but shofu does not want a repeat of what happened before. They, I don't know what they just blew up, but they blew something up. And yeah, doing a nice little wall over there. He's got sensor towers everywhere. The sensor tower over here would not be a bad idea. See what's coming for this base, but yeah, he's very, very well in control. Of course, what are these guys doing? Just a bunch of Hellions running around, seeing the massive Roach Hydra army going around. So Roach Hydra Viper looking very, very nice, and Spire coming out soon, which could mean, I don't know what, some sort of corruptor play. Mutas, of course, not a bad idea at all, because it's a mech army, so until he gets out a sizable amount of Thors, Mutas are going to own the living crap out of everything. Oh, we've got some engagements coming up here. We got the Viper coming out. Green clouds over everything. The Roach Hydra is doing a pretty good job on this side. Might be able to get into the base. I'm not 100% sure. Looks like they're just having fun sniping tanks. The Hellions coming in right now. Do manage to take out a lot of stuff here, and the Hydra's going back. Looks like a bunch of tanks got owned over there. But eventually, Shofu did manage to hold off this engagement. And viOLet lost quite a lot there. viOLet, where's this here? Oh, look at this. 11,000 versus under 10,000. So that definitely turned it around for Mr. Shofu. He's got to be looking good, but maybe viOLet has the income to just sort of weather that attack. It just says, all right, well, you know what? If you lose 1 unit for every 2 units that I lose, I'm still ahead because I got an amazing micro and I'm killing high gas units like tanks, whereas I'm just losing roaches and hydras, which are still require some gas, but not as bad. Here we go. They're coming in. We got a ton of tanks up the top. That's not good. And he's very, very wise to be getting out of there. So good job, Mr. viOLet. Very, very nice stuff. But the tanks are starting to get a little bit crazier, though. He's sort of jumping all over the place. Oh, I thought that was a carrier for a sec. I thought that was like a carrier, but no, apparently not. It's just a floaty thing. So anyways, oh man. viOLet, where are your drops? Where are your muta plays? He's starting to get some missile turrets, so Major not slacking off on the missile turrets. Sending some Marines over there. Marines don't really see much. I assume he is just for scouting, because 4 Marines are not going to get anything done when it comes to actually doing stuff. Here we go. Roaches coming in. Are they going to be able to make something happen? This is, he's done a few of these attacks so far, and so far he has been annihilated by the tanks. So these Roach Hydra, and here we go. Swarm Host, 12 of the bastards coming out. So we are going into full-on siege mode in this game. And if you're looking at the video time down the bottom, you've probably been expecting a Swarm Host for quite some time. And you're like, oh god, they are here. Oh well, it would have been nice to see a game last this long without Swarm Host, but I guess it's going to be one of those rare games that actually does make us use the fast forward button, which is fine, because I'm sure there will be some very, very cool stuff in between wave after wave of Locusts running and getting annihilated by tanks. So let's have a look at Roach Hydra. I'd love to see some Roach Hydra stuff happen, but I don't think he's going to. He's got a nice wall here. He's got a tank holding it. He might be able to blitzkrieg in there, but I'm not sure about it. Hellion Harass is, yeah, starting to see some very, very nice stuff here from Mr. Shofu. And viOLet choosing to burrow instead of actually running those guys away, which I'm not sure is actually working out for him. There we go, the first locust of the game going across. Quite a lot of tanks are taking them out, but they do manage to kill a couple of workers and a missile turret that was under construction. So the first casualties of the siege. Here we go, beautiful scans. Oh, got a very nice air army coming out here. A bunch of Vikings and a bunch of Ravens, which is very, very nice. More Swarm Paste coming in there. And here we go, Burrowed Roach. Is Shofu going to be scanning this? Does not look like it. Which, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Here we go. Oh, the Vipers. That is not good. That is very, very not good. Oh, it's kind of a bit of back and forth. Here we go, more Hellions coming in. It's surprising, I don't think he's used Hellbats at all this game. He's just been using Hellions the entire time. And they've been working well, pretty well. There we go, this is the first Thor. Is that the first Thor? Yes, it is the first Thor, and it gets taken out by Locust, so not very good. Oh, run, 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 run. There's like 10 billion tanks about to siege up. There we go. Interesting. I suppose... yeah, I suppose it is interesting. Oh, look at these guys. Dude, there we go. Managed to outrange them, which is very nice. I thought he was going to have to split this off, but did manage to outrange them, which is very, very nice. Coming in the top, seeing if he can break through here, is taken out a barracks, but so much siege tank damage here. And Roaches, they got heavy skin, very, very tough against attacks, but there's just too many tanks with level 3 weapons, and these Roaches have absolutely no chance of withstanding any kind of siege tank attack at this point in the game. There's just tanks everywhere. There's just this entire line is just full of tanks. Here we go, he's managed to find a spot, only one tank, snipes the tank out, and now he's going to be taking out a bunch of workers. The workers are running, so he's not going to get a lot of them, but he is going to be able to know the command center lifts up. He's going to move across. He's going to be able to take out a few tanks here, actually, but most of them do get taken out, having to resort to using their normal attack instead of actually siege damage, because they just weren't quite covering this area as nice as they could have. But yeah, worked out pretty well for viOLet. Did have to lose quite a lot of Roaches, but he was building a ton of mutas instead, hoping that the mutas are going to help him, and they may, definitely will, possibly, because Vikings not that good. All he has to worry about really is Thors, and there is not a single Thor. There are 2 out on the map. It's 2 out building, sorry. He's just started building 2 Thors. The instant he saw that muta pack, the question is, how much damage can the mutas do? Oh, there's more mutas over here. Missile turrets. He's going to take out the missile turrets. There are 4 missile turrets, which is quite a lot, but he's sending all of his mutas out of there, and that is quite entertaining. But he didn't really kill that many workers. He's running away because the Vikings are there, and the Ravens as well, and a couple of Raven bombs on those mutas would be catastrophically bad. Of course, it's pretty safe to assume they could probably outrun them. So base-wise, viOLet's got everything on his side of the map. Shofu just missing this one base. The creep is already there, so that's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. You got the mutas going in once again and running as soon as the Ravens manage to catch up. I think he's worried about point defense drones, actually, because those guys are going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, so many Vikings actually coming out there. And level 3 air weapons. So viOLet has really been working on the upgrades for these air tubes for quite some time. I thought the mutas were a recent thing, but no, they've already got 2-2, so he's obviously been pushing upgrades on them for quite some time. Let's see what we can take out here. Got a couple of free tanks here. Look at the tanks go. Look at all these tanks. They are going to get absolutely owned. No defense. Here we go, some more tanks for him to take out. Bye-bye, Mr. Tank. And that is a lot of tanks that just died. So the muta is doing an exceptional job. And yeah, man, I mean, Shofu, he's probably got more minerals available in terms of on the ground stuff, because he just hasn't been farming as fast as viOLet. Oh, maybe not. I mean, he's got a ton of workers, so maybe he has been eating his bases out as fast as viOLet has been. Looks like viOLet's actually got, well, viOLet's got the gold a lot earlier, so that gold is nearly out, but this one's still got a ton of stuff left. So here we go. The Muta's managing to find a way past. Going to be taking out some more tanks. And these tanks, man, he cannot afford to keep losing this many tanks. And there's got to be something happening here. So the Mutas, they're, yeah, a lot of, let's have a look here. 24 tanks going down, 17 Mutas. So that's almost equivalent. The tanks cost a little bit more gas than the Mutas do, but considering that a lot of these tanks probably got taken out by roaches as well, I'm not going to say that the Mutas are actually doing a great job taking out tanks, because there's a ton of them being lost as well. And yeah, in terms of really sapping the other player down, taking out a lot of their stuff, and it's probably sapping him down in minerals, because those tanks do cost quite a lot of minerals, like 250 minerals, something like that, 200, I can't remember exactly. Here we go. Oh, point defense drones, still a couple of those left over, that's not good. But some gas guys is going to be going down, refineries, whatever the hell they're called, and bye. So that's going to suck with his gas economy right there. But really a ton of Vikings right here. I don't know if this is on purpose or accidental, but shofu has got a ton of Vikings, absolutely ton. And the problem is that is going to reduce the amount that he can build on his ground. So what's going to happen here is viOLet is going to tech switch into something that is not going to require an air army at all. He's going to, looks like ultras coming out pretty soon. And once he starts getting the ultras, look at all these missile turrets, and all these ultras come out, and shofu is just going to be like, well, what the hell do I do now? Because I've got a ton of Vikings. The Ravens will be good, but the Vikings are just going to be like, what the hell do I do now? What is going to be happening? Well, these guys are getting really close. Here we go. Look at these guys coming in, man. And he's just going to use the Mutas as long as he can, and then he's going to tech switch over to a massive ground army. And unfortunately for shofu, these Vikings are going to be close to useless when it's a massive ground army. I mean, there's just not much they're going to be able to do. So let's have a look here. Not really getting too much beyond this tank army, but we'll just have to see. We will just have to see. So there's a Viking being useful on the ground. That's pretty awesome. Point defense drones on the Locust. That is just bad news for the Zerg player. But still whittling down the army slowly. And there we go, the Mutas getting out of there. Mutas couldn't quite take that Viking out because, of course, the rest of them showed up. But he's just going to go back and forward, going from the top to the bottom, seeing what he can take out. And the air army of shofu is just going to have to try and catch up this entire time. But I don't see shofu really being on the offensive at all. I mean, viOLet is too offensive at this point. viOLet is just everywhere. And I mean, look at this. There's no point even attacking this base anymore. It's been completely tapped out. Takes out a refinery. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, there's still some gas in there, so I suppose taking out a refinery is not a bad idea, but yeah, here we go. A bunch of these guys coming out. I love the fact that he's leaving a Raven there to keep the point defense drones up, but a bunch of Thors coming out. Very nice. It's better than building Vikings, I gotta say. Better to be building Thors than Vikings, because Thors can still be useful against the Ultras. So, let's have a look. What is he going to be able to take out here? I don't know why he's going for this base, really. There's no strategic value in this base anymore. Case in point, the Vikings are not even really... They're sort of coming over there very slowly. They're not on top of that base anymore. They're just sort of... prefer to be on top of the tank army. Keep that sort of protected a little bit more. Yeah, so, but the fact is, amidst all this Muta play, the shofu is starting to move out a little bit. He's starting to push his presence across the middle of the map, starting to get out there. And we'll just have to see how the Ultras do when they start coming out. Whether the Ultras are going to break this tank line, they may be able to. I mean, there's no buffer at this point. There's absolutely no buffer whatsoever. He needs Hellbats or some Marauders or Green Marauder or something like that to sort of buffer the Ultras to give his tanks time to actually get the job done. But there's no buffer here. There's absolutely no buffer at all. The Ultras just have to get in nice and close, and Fungals will definitely help. He's not facing Marauders, so the Fungals are not really going to be all that necessary. But yeah, the Ultras, man. I mean, viOLet just needs to follow the Locust in with his Ultras. Tanks focus the Locust, and that gives the Ultras time to get in nice and close, and then they just go to work. And with Fungals on top of that, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. Well, not a bloodbath because it's met, but it's going to be like a oil bath. I suppose an absolute oil bath in the Terran army, because they're just going to be absolutely destroyed. So yeah, ton of Ultras coming out. Both players ranking up a lot of resources, but viOLet ranking up quite a bit more. Although he has lost more, so he's obviously just chewing through his resources a lot better than shofu has. Although it looks like shofu has finally managed to hold on to this base, and that base may be a extremely deciding factor in this game if you manage to hold on to this one. Mutas, run! Run, you idiots, run! He's not really controlling them all that well. He's obviously getting the Locusts down here. Here we go, point defense drones kind of over there. These guys are actually going for this base, and they've got enough energy to kind of make something happen, but there's just PDDs absolutely everywhere. Still managed to take that out though, which is nice. I mean, shofu, he had $1 for every time he's had to rebuild an extractor in this game. I think he would have a considerably large amount of dollars. Oh, look at this base. This base hit like 20 times by Mutas so far in this game. Still managed to stay alive though. Here we go. The Ultras coming in. They are taking a sizable amount of damage. Those Thors doing a great job, but still managed to kill quite a lot. Not sure if that was a victory for viOLet, because the Ultras, they didn't have support of other units. They didn't have the Locust support. They didn't have the Muta support and the Infestor support, so it wasn't a full-on attack. It was just kind of, hey, I think those guys are free, I can probably tank them, but no, without all the other guys in there, without all of the other Zerg support units, those Ultras were not able to take that down, and that's quite a lot of Ultras that he lost. And with killing tanks, not sure if it's really worth it. I'm not sure if viOLet is far enough ahead on the economy to say, yeah, I can afford to throw units away. I don't think he is, especially not with shofu having that ace in the hole base down there, which viOLet is going to be a little bit hard pressed to actually take out. But we will see. Maybe viOLet was freeing up space for other units. I don't think so. I think he just sort of, I don't know. That ultra attack on these guys, it didn't strike me as being a good idea. But we will see. Mutas, there's still one Thor over here, just one Thor. But I guess if the Thor's over there, sort of sitting there waiting, then that's a Thor that's not in the main army. Which, you know, viOLet's probably more than happy to leave that Thor there, especially considering that both players are like army cap. So a Thor up on that base, there's a Thor that's not in the main army. And it's protecting a planetary fortress, which is completely useless, which is also nice. Oh, those Hydras. Oh! So that attack did not quite work. Did not quite work at all, but the Locusts are starting to take some units out. Very, very nicely done. We've got a nice little attack over here. The Swarm has having to run for it to get out of their range, but they're going to burrow a little bit further away, and they're going to pin these tanks down. But what happens when these tanks get a little bit to the left? Oh, this is bad. This is actually very bad. Muta's deciding to take this base out. Why, I do not know. But it's another building gone, and thought about going for the production facilities. Not a bad idea. Too bad there's like 20 billion missile turrets over there. Ultra's thinking about going in again. I'd like to see a full-on Ultra rush with Locusts into this main ground army. Here we go. The tank's coming across, and this is when viOLet starts to take a little bit of a hit. He's going to have to get... He's still got some Mutas, so he can start these guys to the left. Shofu anticipating the Mutas moving in. He's going to bring his main army down there. And yes, we're going to be seeing if the Mutas can take these guys out. For now, he's just going to be pulling the workers out of range. And the base going down. Are we going to be seeing the Mutas snuffing some tanks? I'm not 100% sure. The air army moving away. They can't move away too far though. They really, really need to stay close to these tanks, because it's critical they cover these tanks until this hatchery goes down. The hatchery goes down. viOLet, I'm not sure what he's really going for here. Looks like he's gearing up to do as some sort of offensive on this side, really go and take a lot of stuff out. Maybe. He's not really pushing it though. I would have expected him to take advantage of the fact that those air forces were tied up down here, protecting those tanks, to go and do a bit of craziness with the mutas up the top side, maybe in the middle path, but viOLet didn't really do it. He didn't really take advantage of that situation, which is, yeah, I would have expected that from viOLet. But anyway, he's kind of not really doing much at the moment. He's kind of just sort of, yeah, not really. There we go. Here's something going on. He's taking quite a few tanks out there. There is a missile turret, but there's quite a few missile turrets actually, but the muta's going in, taking quite a lot out. Where's the air army? All the way up there. What the hell did viOLet do to convince the air army to go all the way up there? I have no idea, but managed to take out quite a decent amount of tanks. And I think the game is starting to swing towards viOLet. You can see by the resources there, almost capped, 12,000, 3,500. Almost capped, no minerals, 3,500. So if we have a look at the lost, it's about even. So yeah, shofu, he's got all of this stuff to catch up, and viOLet's going to be getting back into this base. So viOLet obviously mined a lot more than shofu has so far, even despite the fact that, oh, look at all these workers, man. Shofu down to 23, so he's been losing quite a lot of those. viOLet's had a lot more workers, and he's just been banking up spores everywhere. It's not going to help much versus the tanks, but it is going to help with these guys, because the mutas, of course, could just sort of jump in. Here we go. Look at the mutas thinking about going in, but there's just too many PDDs, and this ragtag bunch of units. Oh man, right now he really needs at least one spine crawler. He's got a spine crawler, but it's just not quite in position. Hellions are going to be taken out, and these guys do not want to get too close, because there are, of course, a bunch of spore crawlers, but they don't have to. They just have to stop the mutas from killing these tanks, and that is what they're doing a very good job of at the moment. And this base, once again, under siege, and viOLet has just never really taken out that air army. He's done okay versus the ground, but he's never really managed to take out that air army. And the fact that he's continued to go for mutas as a great offensive force is turning against him, because he has gone, I mean, there has been this massive amount of Vikings all through the game, and now he's going for Broodlords. And I really don't understand it, because this massive amount of Vikings can be used as a weapon against shofu if he goes for a full-on ground attack. If he just goes for massive amount of ground, massive amount of ultra, ling, all that sort of stuff, he's going nuts now. And the problem is, these guys are going to do a very decent amount of damage. They might even break this, but the Vikings are going to get there and they're all going to die. And that's it. There's nothing he can do to stop that. Absolutely nothing. Even if you move the Broodlords in and the mutas in at the same time, it's not going to help. The Vikings are just going to destroy everything. So it's like a one-time attack. It's like you send the Broodlords in, they die straight away. So that much air, that much slow-moving air coming out of viOLet, I think was a terrible, terrible mistake. You've got to take into account your opponent's army. You've got to take into account the fact that he's got a massive 28 Vikings. And you've got to deal with that. I mean, he did clear out a lot of these guys, which is great. And hopefully he can actually make a use of this at the moment. Look how many PDDs there are right now. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. And viOLet did manage to kill most of the tanks. In fact, there are only 7 tanks on the field. So maybe he does know what he's doing. He did know what he's doing with those Broodlords. And maybe if he goes for full-on ground right now, there's not that many tanks. There's a ton of lings all around the board. The Vikings and the Ravens incredibly ill-suited to dealing with lings. And he just ling swarm his way all over the map. Do a crap load of damage. Look at this base. It's got a planetary, but enough lings can overwhelm that. Are there still mutas on the field? There are 14 mutas. Very, very nice. And yeah, but look at this. These guys just getting closer and closer and closer. Shofu deciding to build a ton of Hellions, which is very, very nice. Ton of tanks as well. Trying to get his ground army back into some sort of state. Are we going to see this base taken out? That's what I really, really want to see. This base getting taken out. It's going to be tough for the mutas to do it. But if enough Lings get in there, maybe something could be done. He's certainly building enough Lings. He's definitely getting a ton of them. And we just need to get some swarm hosts in range of this base. There we go, the mutas once again going for the refinery. Do manage to take it out. Very, very nice. Probably killed a few workers and a mule there as well, just with the splash damage, which is cool. So let's see, Locust coming in once again, but shofu really pumping up his tank army and his Hellions once again, getting control of the game board. And of course he can keep doing that because he's continuously mining minerals from there. So this is really something that viOLet needs to be taken out. But they're almost absolutely just crapped all over these minerals anyway. They're almost just run out. So you know what I really like about this game? I'm at the 51-minute mark, and it has been tons of swarm hosts, but I have not had to fast forward so far because we've actually had enough interesting stuff happen. It's not just been a snooze-a-thon with one player just continually running locusts into one base. I hate those games, and I thought this game was totally going to be one of them, but this game has actually been really awesome. Look at this point defense drone. He's holding for now, but those tanks have totally been flanked. Nice fungal there. Oh my god, we're finally seeing the Hellbats in this game. I thought we would never see Hellbats in this game, but I guess he wants them to help out. Look at how fast these locusts die to Hellbats. My god, look at how fast these Hellbats take damage to the bloody fungal. This is nuts. What the hell have we got going on? Lings everywhere. The Lings are behind enemy nines. They're destroying absolutely everything. This is nuts. Lings, man, they're just going absolutely nuts. The main army all the way out there. Now they're going to have to fall back. Are we going to see some damage here? We've still got one Raven. Putting down PDDs, able to stop the Locust coming in here, but the Lings are going nuts, and shofu is starting to get very spread out here. Starting to feel very spread out, and look at these Lings doing a great job taking stuff out. Maybe it needs to prioritize on the factories or something, but yeah, still doing an exceptionally good job. More Lings coming out. We've got Broodlords waiting. We've got a bunch of tanks moving forward, but they're moving forward into a bunch of locusts. Point defense drones are going to be helping them out. And out of those tanks that moved forward, a bunch of them did take a bunch of damage, but they may yet survive. Mules are being dropped down to save them, and shofu just gained another few meters closer to viOLet's base. So very nice little tank push there against the locusts, but oh, that's a ton of damage. I don't know why he's pushing though. There's nothing up there, so he's going to have to go all the way to the main base to actually get something. If he was pushing down the bottom, maybe. Look at the Lings going down here. Lings taking stuff out. Look at all these command centers. It's like a flying command center sort of parade or something. I don't know. But here we go. Broodlords coming across. The mutas are showing up to take care of the Vikings. And yeah, they're not doing too bad, but they are getting run away. This base very well protected, sorry. It's also very well detected, but that's got nothing to do with it. And Lings getting burrowed down there. The command centers, of course, cannot use their ability while they're in air, so scans are going to be a little bit harder to come by until he lands these guys. But of course, if he lands them, then they start getting owned by Lings. So it's a bit of a catch-22. The Lings are all burrowed. He needs the command centers to land to use the scan to detect the Lings, but if he lands the command centers, then the Lings unburrow and destroy the command centers. So that's a catch-22 if I've never heard one before. If I've ever heard one before. I don't know what the saying is, but these locusts, even if an entire wave just takes kills one tank, that's still worth it, but I don't think that wave killed any tanks at all. Oh, the swarm host getting owned. Look at this guy, man. Look at this sneaky little Broodlord. Actually getting down there. Fungal on the Vikings, followed up by infested Terrans. That is the sort of crazy crap that I like to see from the Zerg player. It's about time he did that. Get rid of those air units, and now he is looking very good in this game. Taking out all those units with the single Broodlord, doing a great job. Really needs to move some of these guys over there. Are we going to see some more fungals coming down? Not 100% sure, but shofu continuing to just face bash his way into viOLet's base with this tank army, with Hellbats, with this air army. These guys would be killed in 0.2 seconds if it wasn't for this air army. The mutas would just come in and annihilate them. But the air army, there we go, landing them again, and the Lings are starting to go to work once again. Here we go, the Broodlord slowly moving in, taking stuff out. And yeah, it's all awesome at this point. And viOLet's just continually moving his forces back, retreating back to this base down here. And I don't know what's going to happen if he finally gets taken out at that base, but yeah, something may happen. I mean, the infestors are starting to become more and more important in this game. I mean, if they get a good fungal with some infested Terrans underneath, that's going to be awesome. But the PDDs are just doing so much good work. Here we go, the Lings coming in, taking out some tanks. They're right in the main base right now. No tanks are actually being produced because, hey, look at that, shofu has no money. He's completely broke and is nowhere for him to mine from. And viOLet, because this base got taken out so many times, still able to mine from it. And he's got minerals backed up. He's got over 5,000 minerals backed up. That tells me that he has actually been losing less. Look at this, 5,000, 5,000. So there we go. That's how close it is. He's lost 5,000 less, and that means he's got 5,000 minerals in the bag. So over the long term, that difference in units lost, this is what it comes down to. This is what it ends up meaning. And viOLet is just freely destroying stuff everywhere. Look at this. These guys got no hope. They got no minerals. This may be this may be shofu's last army, and the Vikings are on the ground. This is what it's come to, ladies and gentlemen. Vikings running along the ground, and that is actually pretty dangerous. Vikings along the ground. They may be able to, at this stage of the game with level 3 weapons, they may be able to take out some pretty key stuff here. But whoa, I don't know. I don't know if shofu can actually make this happen by the end of the game. viOLet's going to make some tough decisions here. He's making some Ultralists, and he's making some Broodlords. He's not got a lot of minerals left, and he's just used up 40% of his remaining minerals to make these Ultras and Broodlords. So if these guys just run in and get owned, and it's like, what a waste of time, that is huge, absolutely huge. So he's got to make these units work. He's absolutely 100% got to make it worth his time. Oh, come on, chain fungals. He has to run because of, oh, he manages to get just out of range and then chain fungal him again. This is going to be 3 Ravens, which are not going to see the light of another day. Although I think this entire map has been taking place at night anyway, so who cares? But look at that, 3 Ravens going down. That is not something that shofu can afford to lose. And if we have a look, 91 under 194 army size, 85 under 162, you can see it's really not working. The Ultras are coming in. They're doing a crap ton of damage. The Broodlords are coming in. Everything's starting to look quite crazy. The Vikings are all down on the ground. I don't know if it really matters if they lift up. They lift up, they attack the Broodlords, they're on the ground, they get owned by the Ultras. And they are, look at this, there's no ground units left. There is just Vikings, and that is it. And that is it. I think this is it. I don't think that shofu can possibly win this game. He's got to take out the Broodlords, but whoop-de-friggin' do. There are still Ultras, and I think that's it. I think this is GG right here from Mr. Shofu. He went on long and hard. I'm not sure he can really do much at this point. I mean, both players are pretty much tapped out. viOLet used up all of his gas. There we go, there's the last gas. Still got a bit of, no, it's out. This one's still got some. But, there we go. If only PDDs could actually attack, maybe the game would still be going. But he's still got a very decent amount of these guys. What is he building here? He is building Widow Mines. Oh my god. Here we go. The Ultras going nuts here. If they can take out these factories, that will be awesome. Queen's coming in as well. Unfortunately, Infestor's not that good at taking out buildings, but Infested Terrans are. And Widow Mines, my god. Do we have... I don't think we actually have any observers. Oh, sorry, overseers. I don't think we do. Oh, Ultralisk for the win. 1 Widow Mine remains, and it is taken out. So none of those Widow Mines survived. Unfortunate. I don't think we need to look at the production tab anymore. I don't think there's any point. Let's just look at the units tab. Here we go. This thing getting taken out by the Locust. Very, very, very nice. What have we got left alive? 11 and 5. So, yeah, there's no air units left for viOLet. He's lost them all, but he's got tons of ground units. And shofu's ability to actually destroy ground targets is very, very not good. He can land his Vikings, which is suicide. He can put down the turrets, which is not that much damage, and he can do the Raven Bomb, which is easily avoidable. viOLet's been avoiding them all game. He's done an excellent job at avoiding Raven Bombs. So what can he do? He can sit up in the corner and hide. Pretty much. Yeah, so interesting, very, very interesting. But I have a feeling, I've been having that feeling for a while, but I have a feeling that this game is almost over, and it's just going to be down to what the hell, I don't know. It's just down to viOLet, hurry up and kill this guy, and shofu just, yeah, he's got no chance. He's putting down a ton of mules. Mules can attack. There we go. You can use mules to attack stuff. He's actually repairing these guys. Oh, wow. I suppose he could use the factory to kill something, but... Oh, look at these infested terrans. Get some hydras, dude. Hydras would be so awesome at this point in the game. Absolutely. Look at this. We've actually got a hatchery coming down. What? Why is he building hatcheries? I don't understand this. You're not going to lose... So you might as well save your minerals just in case you need to build stuff like hydras, like corruptors, like something else. I mean, they're hiding over here. I mean, viOLet has no he's no air attack. No units that can actually hit air. Oh man, I gotta say this is like very, very close to being a dick move right here. In fact, I'm thinking that this probably is a dick move. He's got 3 command centers. He's got a whole bunch of Vikings and Ravens. Alright, let's just put the cards down on the table. Shofu has absolutely 100% no chance of winning this game. Absolutely 100% no chance of being able to win this game. All he can do, he's got 2 choices. He can GG, which he probably should do, which he definitely should do, or he should... Or he can sit there like I'm going to say, like a dick, and just frustrate viOLet enough to the point where viOLet leaves and we have a tie. Which I'm going to say is a dick move. Now, this is actually probably the first time in history where I've cast a Masters level game and found somebody pulling a dick move. I've done it, and I mean, I've played ladder games where the people have been doing dick moves left, right, and center. I've been doing fan casts. But the first time in Masters level play where I've seen somebody doing it. And I mean, alright, fair enough. If shofu had some chance of winning the game, if he had some minor chance, if he had some plan, if he had something going on, no matter how remote, then keeping these guys up, keeping these guys alive, I would say, okay, if you've got a tiny chance of winning and you're doing this to stay alive, fair enough, you know, because Masters players can do all sorts of crazy crap. He has no chance. He has absolutely 100% no chance of winning. Shofu has absolutely no chance. So that's it. His only choice is to just wait viOLet out and frustrate viOLet enough to the point where he GG's, or he's GG's himself. And I think that's what's going to be the case, because alright, let's just speed it up here. Alright, so we're at ×2 speed at the moment. Alright, we got some point defense drones here. What do we got for reduction? Units. We don't see any air units coming up at the moment. viOLet's not building them. I mean, building corruptors, they probably wouldn't be able to do that much. So he's not building them. Alright, so continue. Overlords coming in, trying to bait those units out to get in range of the queens. Not a bad idea. It didn't quite work though. Alright, ×4 speed. Let's do it. Let's do it. Overlords continue to try to bait, getting some fungals out there. Not really hitting anything. Shofu has found his sweet spot and he is not moving. Still no corruptors being built. Here we go. It's actually managing to get some fungals. He just needs vision to get fungals on it. Did you see that? He managed to fungal those guys in there, but he just needed the vision to get there. Okay. So, these guys on an infinite patrol there. So that's fine, they're out of range. Here we go. Building corruptors. He's building 12 of them. Alright, so let's just speed it up. Yep, that is on normal speed. Sorry, yes. You can see the time there, so you can see that this still doesn't go on for some time. He's still long distance mining these guys. Where are the corruptors? That's the question. He's got his corruptors. He's over there. There we go, corruptors. The thing is, all he needs to do is take the buildings out. The Vikings don't matter. The Ravens don't matter. All he needs to do is kill the buildings. Whether or not he can do that, I am not 100% sure. I would say there's a decent chance that shofu can actually hold off these corruptors. I really, really do. But there we go. One more corruptor, taking the total up to 12. I thought he had 12 and then he was building one more. Maybe he only had 11. Maybe one of them died. Please tell me he's not morphing into a broodlord. Okay, alright, so we got to speed this up again. Let's keep an eye on this corruptor army. Where are they? Where are those corruptors? There they are. Are they using... They're using the... I keep forgetting what speed I'm on. They're using the overlords for a kind of meat shield. Which is not a bad idea. Definitely not a bad idea. And I mean, he's got all the units he can build anyway. So if he loses all his overlords, then who gives a toss? Here we go. He's moving in. What is he going to be going for? He's running. He's waiting for the point defense drones mainly? Maybe? Not sure. Okay, let's speed it up to ×2 because he's obviously... come on! I don't know what to say at this point. I really, really don't know what to say. We just want to see these guys go in. More point defense drones. Shofu absolutely does not want to lose this game. He does not want a GG. Here we go. And no, it's just too many point defense drones. Nothing can be done. The corruptors cannot take anything. There's too many PDDs. And... I don't know, man. If these guys were in the same building, in like the same room, in one of those big tournament rooms, I could just imagine viOLet getting up and just totally slapping shofu across the face. That's what I would be doing at this point, because, I mean, I'm pretty sure this wasn't just some fun game, this was like an actual tournament game, so, you know, those sort of things, just, Oh. Bit of lag there. Come on. Alright. Speed it up. Are we going to see some stuff? That command center looking a little bit taking a bit of damage. Unfortunately, shofu is killing a couple of those guys. So the overlords are slowly going down. Is this full speed? This is full speed. Alright, we're at full speed right now. Can't get any faster than that. Overlord dies. So we had a bit of a pause there. Probably so those players can take a nap because this game has been going forever. Is it? This is... I don't think the viOLet can beat shofu in a straight up military battle here. I think it's impossible. Even if he had like 100 corruptors, I'm not sure if it would be possible. Come on, what do we got? Come on. Oh, no. He's trying some stuff. He's really getting in there, actually. Let's have a look at the units. He's down to 7. And shofu really hasn't lost all that much. There we go. He's going in. He's got in close enough for the queens to heal the corruptors. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I didn't think he could do that, but he got closer. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, though. Not sure if it's going to be enough. Come on, 4 corruptors left. They're going in, they're trying. The queen's healing them as best they can. One of them goes down. Only 3 corruptors left. Come on, 3 corruptors. He's keeping them healed up really well now. There we go. 1 more dies. There is down to 2 here. 1 Viking has actually gone down, so he's down to 4, but there we go. They got a little bit out of range and managed to walk into a couple of fungals, so that's not too bad. And there we go. Draw. I suppose that I don't know. I guess technically that is a draw. I suppose. Me personally, I'm still pissed off at shofu. I'm still like, dick move, man. Total dick move. But I guess that's just me from a upper level proper tournament perspective. I guess you could say that this is a draw. But I would still say that most players in shofu's situation would have given the GG half an hour ago. Yeah, because generally that's what you do. You're in this sort of position, you give the GG. But anyway, that's beyond and apart, and the point is, this game is over, and it was declared a draw, and that's it. Drawn game. I think this is one of the first drawn games I've ever seen. Usually, the closer you get to a draw is a base race, and then somebody does win. But this was a draw, so there we go. It may also have been the most massive game I've ever cast, so very incredible game. So thank you very much for watching it. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys with another game next week. Stay tuned for that.